Okay. Salam alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. I am Sarah Murad, the founder of FlexoPay, which is a Bahraini startup. Now, during my travels abroad, I've seen like a lot of people making effortless payments, through contactless wearables. Now, early last year, I've come across that Bahrain has mandated contactless transactions. Now, smartwatches, fitness trackers are very, very much in use in Bahrain. So now what struck me was I started to think like, why don't Bahrain have the wearables by now? Knowing that Bahrain has the capability, has the technology to have the wearables in Bahrain. So شو المشكلة هنا? So that's got me thinking. And after consulting with friends and then payment experts, we founded FlexoPay. In addition to that, with the challenge that is brought in by the pandemic, FlexoPay found it more important to level up the current contactless payments that is currently in the market. And this definitely will help sectors that have been affected by the pandemic, say the tourism sector, the educational sector, and a lot of businesses as well. So we at FlexoPay, we've come up with a solid solution, which helps these users. But again, we're not limited to that because most importantly, we as FlexoPay, our main aim is about delivering financial outcomes to help businesses and our community at large. Now, in line with Bahrain's vision of 2030 into moving towards a cashless society, and last year as well, in 2020, Bahrain has uplifted certain sectors and shifted people's behavior towards, making more contactless payments. So FlexoPay would like to be a part of this, to contribute and lead in this technological revolution, delivered by our homegrown talent and be a leader in this financial landscape. Now, at FlexoPay, we provide people with more options to pay, which is simple, secure, and effortless. Now, to sum up, how about our solution that provides the answers to today's challenges are these points that I will highlight with you, which is the plug-and-play solution, which is the simple integration with APIs, tap and go experience. Now, a simple example is that for us as like a majority in Bahrain, we all have the cards where we just tap and go whenever we want to buy something. But say our kids, when they go to school, inshallah, when things open up in September, when they go to school, they want to buy something from the cafeteria. They still don't have the option of, the tap and go. So this is where wearables, we think this is an untapped market that we can definitely get into. And then the tokenization, which is for security reasons. And then we work as well with open loop and closed loop system, and that will take us and you quick to the market. Now, simple use cases, examples that we have here are, say, for example, the Formula One, the Trip Fest, concerts, and schools, gyms, restaurants, and open loop is just basically where everyone wants to just buy anything, anywhere in Bahrain. Our app that we have created is very, very customizable, user-friendly, and very intuitive. So as you can see, it's very easy to activate the device, to top up using BENEFIT Pay, and at the same time, to see the history of where the wearables have been used. And over here, again, the design and customization is not limited to any particular wearable. And I'd like to highlight here that we are not here to emulate, copy, Apple Pay or Samsung Pay. We're here our solution basically is here to work with any wearable devices. And at the same time, this will actually help them reach to more users. Our business model revolves around, partnerships with tech companies like BENEFIT, and schools and event organizers, wearable partnerships with Samsung, Fitbit, Garmin Pay, and so on and so forth. Okay, and this is our transaction flow diagram. And I am done from my end, and I leave the question and answers to you guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's leave it for the judge's gesture.
I have a question if I can start. Sarah, can you explain to us exactly how it's going to work from end to end from a technical perspective? Because I didn't quite get that from the presentation.
All right. Okay. So for the technical part, I'll have my colleague explain it.
From a technical part, we can. We will be customizing, or we will be I'll explain it to you from an open loop perspective. The watch will be configured using the FlexoPay app. We can go into the details on that, but if there is any POS machine, currently the POS machine asks for, whenever a transaction is initiated, the POS machine would ask, uh, enter your card, insert your card, or tap and go. So all we need to do is tap your wearable, and the transaction then gets initiated. The transaction, as normally it goes from the POS machine, it will go to the acquirer switch. The acquirer will send it to BENEFIT, and then BENEFIT, because it will be a token that is being transmitted, BENEFIT will determine that this is a variable which has come, and we would have already done that integration with BENEFIT, and BENEFIT will route it to FlexoPay engine. When it goes to the FlexoPay rule engine, this is somewhere where we can have multiple criteria or multiple parameters for authorization. For example, if it's going to be given to a kid, we can say that he can use a maximum of 10 dinars. We can put restrictions like it cannot be used at a vape shop, for example. So then once it gets that authentication there, it goes back to BENEFIT, and BENEFIT will now route it to issue a bank, like how it normally does with BENEFIT Pay. Then the transaction will come back to the acquirer, to the POS terminal, and transaction is either approved or declined. If it's approved, the transaction is completed, and the FlexoPay engine is updated. This is from an open loop. In a closed loop, we will directly, the terminal, we will be providing a terminal, or we can also tie up with acquirers in order to tie up with them, so that they can be much more acceptance. So in a closed loop, what happens is it goes to the acquirer will route it to FlexoPay engine, and or it can go directly to the acquiring to the issuing host, and then the FlexoPay engine, it will come to the FlexoPay engine, we will authorize the transaction, and then it will go back and the payment is completed. We can also use closed loop with BENEFIT Pay, in whichever way, if you think that we can use it, because what we want to do is we want to ride on the existing technology that's available. We do not want to reinvent the wheel here. BENEFIT already has a significant penetration in the market. We have about 65% of transactions being done through BENEFIT. So the BENEFIT payment token is what we will be using from an open loop perspective. I'm done with my answer.
I have a follow-up question. This is with regards to the actual wearable devices. So have you done any sort of a proof of concept with any devices and test your actual solution?
We have done a proof of concept only with the closed loop. With the open loop, we haven't, because obviously, for the open loop, it has to be either through schemes, card schemes, or it has to be through BENEFIT. So, inshallah, if we are selected, then if BENEFIT is willing to, have that, provide us the APIs, then we would be able to integrate, and then we can do a proof of concept. And then we also intend to participate in the regulatory sandbox of the Central Bank of Bahrain to get the complete set of approvals.
I have a question. Do you need to carry your phone with you to make the payment via the wearable?
No, not required, because this is exactly on the use case which we said, if one of the use cases rather, if the child is going to wear the wearable and go to school, see, schools are going to reopen. For adults, you have mentioned that, contactless up to 50 BD within the market and so on and so forth. But the children are going to take cash. They're going to buy notebooks. They're going to buy something at the cafeteria. They're going to handle cash. So in order to eliminate all of that, the children will only have to wear their wearable. They will go and use it it can be either a closed loop or an open loop. So if in either cases, he will tap the watch or the wearable at the point of sale. That is going to come back into the Flexo engine. It's going to recognize, and then we will authorize the transaction. However, it is to be seen that when the parent is providing the wearable to the kid, he will configure the kid watch or wearable. It can be, and it's agnostic. It's hardware agnostic. It could be Fitbit, it could be Garmin Pay, Samsung Pay, or Huawei, Xiaomi, or any. We are open to even other models also. Now, when a parent gets the watch or the wearable, then the parent will go into the FlexoPay app and he will configure, he will tag the child's wearable, and he will say that this is the limit to which he or she can use, and where it can be used. Because we are not limiting it only to the child. The parent can have it for himself or herself also. So all they are doing is they are going to tag it. So for example, if I'm going for a jog, I don't have to take my, and if I'm feeling thirsty, I'll just go to a small cold store and I can tap my watch and make the purchase. So I don't have to take my watch, my phone along with me. So as Sarah mentioned, contactless is already there in the market. We are just taking it to another higher level, to a simpler level, to an effortless level. And this is what we are trying to bring about in this solution.